Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 13. Why did I say 20? I hope you're all doing great. I am I am excited to start. It's going to be a short one, and guess what? Tomorrow is Valentine's. So, before I say what we're going to do tomorrow, let's talk about what we're going to do today. Today, we're going to add Tanstack query to a React app we've been building over the last 43 days. And hello, everyone in the chat. Hi, Kizzy, Ishrit. Great to see you both here. Thank you for showing up again. Ravi, which VS theme are you using? Please share. I will share that in just 1 second. Hi, Chinmay. I hope you're all doing great. I hope the music is not too loud. How about that? Today is a really fun one because we're gonna add Tanstack query to. Hi Azimuddin, nice to see you all here. We're gonna add query to an app that we've been building, and I don't have a lot of time today, so we're gonna not waste too much time. We're gonna jump right into it. Let's get into it. Okay, here is the app that we've been building. Oh, what is this? Okay, I'm gonna move this down here because in case you need the Discord to. Hi Hamza Sohail, nice to see you. I think I'm seeing you here for the very first time. So thank you for joining. Okay, I'm gonna move this stuff down. Alrighty. So if you need to share any links, or if you need any GitHub info, or if you have any issues, that is the Discord. Go ahead and join that. If you have any questions, that is where your questions will be answered. All right, today we're gonna add Tanstack query. Like I said, we don't have a lot of time from the airport to my house, so I may get a call anytime and I may have to jump out. Therefore, let's get going today. Why waste time today? Also, tomorrow is, and it's probably Valentine's for a lot of you, so happy Valentine's Day. I hope it is a great day for you. I hope you're having fun. I hope you get to enjoy it with somebody you love. If it is just yourself, even if it's a friend that you love, or if it's your family, or if it's a loved one, I hope this day is great for you. Alrighty, let's read the docs, okay? So let me make sure that my servers are started. It is started. Cool. Okay, just a reminder, this is the app that we've been building. You can search for properties in Seattle by filling in the description, which is so many frame drops, but we will manage. Oh no, I actually just edited it, but it sucks that it's still dropping. Okay, let me actually use the bitrate even more. Wow, this is so weird. I just saved it and it did not save the value. Okay, thank you for letting me know, Ishrit. I'm gonna see if it saves again. I just updated this. Done. Okay, let me try again. Did it save or not? That is so weird. It does not save. Oh, you know why? Because I'm recording. Because I'm streaming right now. Okay, let me see. So weird. It doesn't even tell me that it does not save. You forgot to share the theme. I will share that in just one moment. Actually, it's not a custom theme. It's a theme that comes with VS Code. And I believe it's called, I want to say Night Owl. Oh, crap. Night Owl. Yeah, that's the one. It is a VS Code theme. Alrighty, so as a reminder, this is what we've been doing. If you look for a property in Seattle, you type in the address, you type in a query in just plain English and you hit search. We actually use AI to parse this English language text into JSON and then use that JSON to send it over to our Zillow API, which then calls and fetches a list of properties that match what we wrote. You can also hit like, and then we generate a list of recommendations, which we're only showing as actually IDs for now, which is actually ID from the database. So these are the recommendations that the AI engine has given to us, which basically means that these properties look similar to the property that you just liked. And that is our recommendation engine. Now, of course, there's a lot of stuff that needs to get built here. There's a lot of UI improvements that need to get built here. But in the episode today, and probably the one next day as well, we are actually going to build the state management of this app. We're going to get our bones together, and then we're going to add the styling and the formatting and all of that stuff. Why did we choose Tanstack query? That is something that we discussed in yesterday's stream and day before yesterday's stream. So if you have missed it, let me show you where you can find it. You're actually probably watching this on my channel already, so you will have access to this in down here. I'm spending 30 days building OpenAI, and this will have all of the latest streams. Okay. So if you missed anything, you can go ahead and watch this. And to keep everything transparent, I don't actually work on this app outside of this time, so that whatever we're doing in this app, we're doing it together, and I'm doing it on stream. So if you miss something, you'll find it in the stream, in the GitHub. Alrighty, so today we are going to add Tanstack query to this. And if you remember, we actually have state everywhere. So just as a reminder of what the architecture of this app looks like, just to remember like where we're going to put state. In the starting state, we have the query that comes in. I'm looking for a 3-bedroom. That is the English language text that the user sends in. This text is then sent to the UI, which is this UI. And then we need to actually store this text so that we can call this LLM stuff and do all of the stuff that we need to do, which is used to parse those properties, but also so we can store this string so that if we go back and forth between pages, between this page and a page which is the property details page, if we come back to this page, we can still have the state loaded and we don't see an empty screen, which is something that we see right now. So actually now if I click on this item, it takes us to this thing called property details page, which is, this is the property details we have so far. But if I go back, all of my state is lost. So we're going to fix that today, and we're going to add Tanstack query to do that. Why are we adding Tanstack query? Because it can fetch and then it can also cache based on a URL itself, which is something that we need. It also does other stuff like pre-caching, pre-rendering. Pre-rendering? Does it do pre-rendering? I don't know. I think it is pre-rendering. What else? Infinite scrolling management, pagination management. So it's already doing a lot of stuff that is already in our to-do list. So I think this is going to be a great library. Also, in one of further down the line, we're actually going to build a Tanstack query ourselves. We're going to build a state management solution like Tanstack query ourselves. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned, because that is going to be really fun, really advanced stuff, but really fun, because we're going to build a state management ourselves to understand how it actually works behind the scenes. Because you know what, you can actually do all of this using React hooks. So we're going to tear it apart and figure out how it works. And it's going to be a lot of fun. But today, we're going to keep it simple. We're going to add Tanstack query. And if I'm talking too fast, let me know, because I am on a rush. But how are you all doing? Thank you for joining me. I forgot to say hello to everyone. I'm Shruti Kapoor, in case you're joining me for the very first time. I have been streaming here for the last 43 days, which means that you get to see the progress of this app ever since I started streaming it. We actually picked this app up from just a simple search form, added AI to it, then added a recommendation engine, and now we've been productionizing this app so we can take it from a hobby project to something that you can deploy and get money for, which is working in a corporation. So I have been using all of my knowledge that I've learned over the last 10 years working at companies like Slack and PayPal to bring you this content for free. So I hope you like it. Yesterday we talked about how you decide to pick a state management library and when React's native capabilities are not enough for you, so that you should actually pick a library. And I think that is a really great session that you should watch. It is going to be in that list that I shared, so go ahead and watch it if you haven't watched it. I think it's a great session. I need a breather. But actually, tell me where you all are joining me from and what time is it where you are. Joining from India, 11:17. Cool. Time here is 9:48 p.m. From my office in India, 11:17. Nice. Where is your office, Ravi? And Ishrat, remind me, which city are you in again? Oh God. All right. New Delhi. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I hope to see you in New Delhi if I do come down this year to India. Oh no, what happened? Oh my God, I messed up something, but it's okay. Oh, there it is. I'm from Surat, Gujarat. Oh, cool. I actually have a really close friend who also lives in Surat. Glad to see you here, Ravi. Okay, let's get started, folks. So we're going to actually go through the Tanstack query. And by a show of hands in the chat, let me know if you've ever used Tanstack query before. Because if you have, I might have some questions for you because I have never used it before. I have used Tanstack query. Nice, Ishrat. And also Kizzy is my other account. That's what I was thinking. Okay, Kizzy is your other account. What does Kizzy mean? Why is it Kizzy Gamer? Because I thought that it was you, but I wasn't sure. Alrighty, so here is a React query. So what do we have to do? We have to call the client provider use query, which is what it gives us. And then in the app, we have to wrap our client provider with the app components. So we can do that. That's easy. Then the way we actually call in API is through this, which is good because that's how we're going to fetch our resources. But this is going to happen in the backend after we've set a search parameter, which is something that we have to store. And so you can do is pending or error. So that's good. Okay, I'm not going to go through a course to own place through walkthrough guide. All right. Requirements, quick start. Use query client. You can invalidate queries based on this query. And for us, this is going to be the text that the user wrote. So the first step for us is going to be to wrap it in the query client provider. I hope this text is big enough. Hey, Anas. Just watched Fireside Chat. It was very informative. Great video. Oh, I'm so glad to hear. I honestly was so inspired by Addy after this Fireside Chat. Hey, Hunar, good to see you. I nearly forgot. I'm glad you're here. I was so inspired by Addy in this fireside chat that after talking to him, I decided to pursue my lifelong dream of content creation, which is why I'm here. And thanks to him, I am doing this because I've been wanting to do this for so long. So if you haven't seen it, you guys, you are missing out. You have to watch this fireside chat with Adi Osmani. In case you don't know who Adi is, this is Adi. You may have seen him everywhere. He's like the performance guru. Now even we are also inspired. Nice. What a cardinal sin. I know. I'm a full-time electronics engineer, but I'm learning coding for a side hustle. Nice. What kind of coding languages are you working on? That's awesome that you're doing this as a side hustle. Way to go. Alrighty, so for us, we're gonna let's go through this. So we have this query, and then they have this query key, query function. Okay, what does the query function do? These three okay. Queries, mutations, and query validations. Let's read them up. So query is a declarative dependency of an asynchronous source of data that is tied to a unique key. A query can be used with any promise-based method to fetch data from a server. If your method modifies data on the server, we recommend using mutations instead. For us, let's look at this first one where it actually fetches from the server. It is not modifying anything, right? It is doing a parse properties, which actually calls the natural language, which actually sends the natural language to LLM API, which sends back a JSON, and then we use that JSON to send to Zillow, and then it sends back to the UI. So we're not changing anything. So for first use case, query is good. To subscribe to a query in your components or custom hooks, call the use query hook with at least a unique query key for the query, a function that returns a promise, resolve the data, throws an error. Cool. So that's what we'll do. What does fetch to do? I think that is the one that actually calls, right? With at least a unique key, a function that returns a promise, resolves the data. Okay, the unique key provided is used internally for refetching, caching, and sharing your queries throughout your application. Okay, awesome, because that is going to be the input that the user sends us, which is going to be this search input. I'm looking for a 3-bedroom. Okay, and then once we've done that, the query result returned by use query contains all of the information about the query that you'll need for templating any other usage of the data. So this is the result. Object contains a few very important states: is pending, is error, and is success, which is going to be helpful for us to add a loader state. Beyond these primary states, more information is available depending on the state of the query. Error data is fetching. If the query is an error state, the error is available via this data. If the query is an in success state, then we have this. Or if the is fetching is set to true, that means you can, if the query is fetching at any time, including background refetching, is fetching will be true. Oh, background refetching also. Okay. For most queries, it's sufficient to check for the is pending state, when the is error state, then the is error state, then finally, assuming that the data is available and render the successful state. So then when do we use the is fetching state? If is pending, blah, blah, blah. If booleans aren't your thing, you can always use the status as well. TypeScript will also not type of the data correctly. Fetch status. In addition to the status field, you'll also get an additional fetch status property with the following options. Fetch status equals fetching. The query is currently fetching. Fetch status equals paused. The query wanted to fetch, but it is paused. Oh, I wonder why that happens. Read more about this in the network mode guide. Fetch status equals idle. The query is not doing anything at the moment. Okay, why two different states? Background refetches and stale while revalidate logic make all combination for status and fetch status possible. Okay, that is good. So if it is stale, then it'll refetch. So that's probably why they're having this fetch status. A query in success status will usually be in idle fetch status, but it could also be in fetching if a background refetch is happening. A query that mounts and has no data will usually be in pending status and fetching fetch status, but it could also be paused if there is no network connection. Interesting. So if it is offline, then the query will be in a paused status. And that's really cool because that can be used for offline support. So keep in mind that a query can be pending state without actually fetching data. As a rule of thumb, the status gives information about the data. Do we have it or not? The fetch status gives information about the query function. Is it running or not? Very interesting. I love how kind of detailed it is, granular it is. Okay. Okay, so what basically we need to do for the very first page is that we need to call the query, and then we're going to have this query key, which is going to be our search. The query function is how we fetch. Then it says that it can actually cache that data, so results should be cached, which means that all of the properties should be cached. Which ID it is? It is actually VS Code. Yes, issue is correct. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and try that. I think the first thing I have to do is install this, which I think was here. Installation. Let's install this. Okay. Then what else? That's it, I think. Oh, it's also recommended to use our ESLint plugin query. Let's get it. Cool, that's it. All right, quick start. Queries. We need the query, which actually we have right here. Okay. Oh, we have to first wrap it within the provider, right? So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna open my, who's on top of this? Oh, I wonder if Tanstack start comes with query and router both. Wow. Tanstack Shruti. Shruti stack. Oh my god, good, go by. Tanstack start, but query we have to add. Full stack React framework powered by Tanstack router. I wonder why. Okay, Tanstack starts built on top of router's type system to provide type safe. With what you get with Tanstack router, this, and this. What you get with Tanstack start, full document SSR, streaming, server functions, bundling. Oh. Okay. This is starting to make a lot more sense. Because this is Next.js. Tanstack start is like Next.js equivalent. That is why it has like server functions and streaming and SSR and bundling and deployment. And then router is just router, and then query is what's doing the fetching. Okay, that makes a lot more sense now. Alrighty, we need to add a provider, and I was looking because I have forgotten the code. App has, where is app? Index? Main JSX, right? Yeah. Okay, because I am going, oh, there is a router as well. Okay, so if you have the router, where should you put query? I could just put it here. Okay, so import, and then Where is my provider? Okay. Const client is new query client. And then I'm gonna wrap the query client provider inside the router. And if something breaks, hopefully that'll tell me. Okay, what is the problem? Oh, this is not running, is it? Okay, what is the problem? Query client is not defined. Oh, query client also comes from Tanstack and the provider as well. Okay. Converting copy to TS. Get rid of this. Turn this down. Alrighty, let's see. Okay. No errors, that's good. And then I am going to go into my app file and start cleaning this up as well. Finally. Finally what? Okay. We have 1 hour till my parents get here. Which means let's go. Okay, what was I doing? Oh yeah, query client. I need the query client somewhere. Wait, who's using query client here? Why are they using query client? Oh, client equals query client. Okay, we don't need that, so we just need the query. And so I'm gonna go ahead and add this query right here. And I know I need to refactor this, so I'm gonna refactor that in a minute. And then this is gonna be query key. Does it have to be an array? Query key. Okay, I need to see this use query. Tanstack. Query key. Okay. And it needs to be an array. Then the query function, which I think we had like a function called fetch or something. Handle submit, we don't, so let's create one. Which is actually going to be all of this function. And then we are setting all of this value. So I'm going to take this entire data out actually. I learned C. I have an error issue. Do you have an error in C? Okay, what was I doing? Right. Handle function. So I'm going to call this get properties from natural language. We're going to make it like that. Okay. And then const or no function get properties from natural. Oh, damn. Look at that. It was able to understand that that is what I need to write. How neat. Okay, so that is going to have this. Then this is going to be an async function. And then handle submit actually just needs to call. Wait, so we don't need to do handle submit anymore because I think, how do we actually call this? How do we do the query then? Info is equal to use query. That is on load. What if it's on click? What happens if it's on click? I could probably just do it with use queries, right? If I'm doing a click, status data error, this is just fetching, but I don't need to prefetch. I actually need to fetch on click. I think I could just do use query at that point. Let's try this. Okay, I'm gonna write this fetch get properties from natural language. Then the URL is hold on. I think it requires me to use enabled dot false. Oh, there is an enable flag. Use query enabled false. Oh, enabled. Set this to false, disable this query from automatically running. Nice. Can be used for dependent queries. Okay. Dependent on serial queries depend on various previous ones to finish before they can execute. To achieve this, it's as easy as using the enabled option to $query when it is ready to run. Okay, so you've got this, and then we'll start in status pending. Get the user ID. Enable this. Oh, it does not execute until the user ID exists. Okay. As soon as the user is available, the project's query will be enabled. We'll then transition to this. Okay. So then if you want to do it when you have clicked something, okay, I think I know what we can do. Alrighty, so what we can do is use query function, and then enabled is gonna be set to search input, and when we search input is actually changing on the input field, but what we could do is const I don't know if this is the right way to do this, but this is one way to do it. You could do is search ready. I don't know. No, not is search ready. Is search should search. and then set should search, and then set this to use state. So basically this is what will be done in the enabled state, and then you set it to false in the beginning. Then once you have hit submit, you actually set the should set search to true, and that is the one that fires the query. So then enabled is should search in that. Okay, and then the query is this. So what do you do with this query? You got the result out of it. Okay. Now the result is what I need to fetch, and a promise, and then I need to just return response data.json. Does it say return a promise or return something else? We don't need we don't need another state. The enabled option also accepts a callback that returns a boolean. Oh, does it? We don't need another state. Yeah, it feels like that is not, it doesn't feel like the right thing. So let's see, enabled, oh yeah. Where's the docs to see? You might have to share the docs in Discord. Okay, sweet. Thank you, Ishrit. If you ever want to disable a query from automatically running, you run enabled equals false. When enabled is false, the query has cached data. Then the query will be initialized to status equals success. So you've got, okay, button on click is refetch, fetch to do's. Where is refetch coming from? That is being provided to use query. Enabled is set to false. Oh. And then when you do, what does refetch do actually? Refresh return from use query can be used to manually trigger the, oh, okay, gotcha. Can be used to trigger the query to fetch. Okay. All right, so use query gives back is loading, which is what we need. Is error, we need that. Data, we need that. Then error, wait, hold on. Error, refetch, and I don't think I care about is fetching. Do I care about is fetching? If is fetching, otherwise nothing. I can just do null. I can just do loading. I don't know if I need is fetching yet, but we'll take it if we need it. So then I need refetch and use query. And then I actually don't need this as well, the properties. This data I'm gonna rename to properties. Query key is search input. Query function is this, and this is going to be set to false. Enabled is set to false, and when I click, I want to set, I want to just call refetch. So I can do refetch. Okay. Then I don't have to do any of this stuff. And this can be cleaned up. and I'm gonna write whatever was in the search input. Okay. Now I do have properties coming back from this. There might be a problem with the get properties from natural language, so we'll fix it if needed. Okay, what does this fetch to-dos do? All right, let's try this. Use query is not defined. Cannot read properties of undefined reading length. Where is this length coming from? Properties. Add. Okay. Then fill in search. Okay, we have some data. What is this object? Search input is this. And then if we go forward and then we go back, we actually don't have the data, and that is probably because we need to store that in the URL. Okay, fill in search, but it's good that at least we're able to fetch this property. Let's also take advantage of the loaders. Okay, we already have is loading coming here, which is coming from use query. The is error we are not using, so let's take advantage of that. Is response data not okay? I think it gives us back status, so we're going to use those. Make enable false by default and refetch on click. Got it. Okay, that's what I'm doing now. Okay, here it is. So we got is loading. Hold on, we actually don't have is loading, do we? Sufficient to check for is pending. How is it getting is loading? Does query even have is loading? Is loading. Loading error is loading. Oh, it's true whenever the first fetch for a query is in flight. Is same as is fetching and is pending. Okay. So I'm going to look for is pending, then if is error, I don't think this is needed, handle submit, change is loading to is pending. Okay, so let's do that here. So if is loading, then we want the loader. Let's convert this into a function called loader. Is pending. Loader. Then if is error, error.message. And I'm going to add a new component for this as well. error. Otherwise, it says you can assume that data is true at this point, and so otherwise, this is now a much cleaner. Much cleaner item. Now I do have to implement these functions. So let's go ahead and do that. Const loader, const error, and the error is error. Error.message. Loading. Okay, what do I get back? Oh, what the hell? What did I add? Okay, and it's probably... Where's the extra braces? Oh, there. Okay. Alrighty. Is spending is set to true even though I'm not fetching anything, which is weird. So I have this giant ass loader. So let's fix it. I think what is loading was giving us is fetching and is spending. So I'm gonna look for that is loading, and then call the loader if is loading is true. So that actually doesn't give that. So now if I fill in search, now I get a loader, and then I actually get the properties as well. Oh my god, look, it has infinite scrolling automatically built in. That is crazy. Okay, but I did want to not get all of those properties because I do have to like these properties as well. And then, actually it's not infinite scrolling, it's just a really giant page. So something that I was doing before actually was only slicing the list that came back, but I am sure that Tanstack query can do that for me. So I'm gonna go to the top. And before I fetch a paginated list of data, I actually want to fix where you search this, and if you click on this, you go back, that data is lost. I want to fix that. So let's see how we can fix that. And I think that may be part of the cache. So let's see caching mechanisms. What is this query invalidation? What do we want to do now? We want to make sure that when we fill a property and we click search, and then we click on the detail, we go back, we still have that data filled out here. It doesn't go away. And I think it might be because of this query key I'm providing. Because I think what happens is that when you fill in search, you click here, you go back, that search input is gone, and so this query actually refetches. I think that is what is happening. You should provide a string to the key, since the key should not be changing, as then only the query will persist. A string to the key. Search input is a string though. What do you mean? Important default. Query key, we can try providing it like properties. Let's test with that. But that wouldn't be accurate representation of our use case. Let's just say search input. Since we actually need to search for the input itself. So if I fill in search, and then I go here, and then I go back. Okay, that is good. That data is there. But then now I actually need this. I think I know what I need to do. Okay, so what happens is the state is actually lost because the component unmounts. But what we could do is, let's try this. So I could do a use ref, and then in my handle submit, I have to set ref.current to be search input, and my query key will be the ref. Use ref is not defined. So now if I fill in search, shit, something broke. Fill in search. Oh, ref.current. Okay, fill in search. Come on, cooperate with me. Search. Okay, it's doing something. Okay, sweet. And then if I click on this and then I go back, that data is still there. Neat. That's what I need. Perfect. But I also need this data in here, which actually I've lost. So I could say something like, I could say something like ref.current or empty. Cannot access ref before initialization. Okay, so I'll say fill send search, and then, okay, that probably didn't change anything, but I click this and then I go back. I don't have that data still. So if I fill in search, ref.current should have that value. Oh, it probably won't update because I never call it. So then if I search, and then I click, then I go back. Okay, that value is still not there, which is fine because, which is actually correct because we have not updated. No, this should, okay. Okay. All right. So then fill in search. The only thing I don't have is the search input for now. So let's figure out how we're going to fix that. Because I do want that search input once the user goes back. This, and then I go back. I have the rest of the field, but I don't have this. Why do I not have this? I don't have this because this is getting data pulled from the set state, right? My search input is equal to my text area, the value is equal to search input. But then when the app goes back to this page, search input is empty. But what is not empty is ref.current. So either search input or ref.current. So if search input is empty, then it'll go to ref.current. So then reload the app, fill and search. Okay, search. Okay, and then click, go back. What is the value of ref.current? Okay, let's log this value. Ref.current, and then console log search input. So what I want to check is that when the page reloads, what is the value of search input and is it truthy? Fill and search. Click on this console. Go back. Okay, that is hold on, I have no idea which is which. Ref.current is, oh, this is also giving a 500. Okay, I'll look into it in a second, but I think what is happening is that search input is actually empty. Search input search input, and then what is the value of search input? Okay, why did you quit on me? Who quit on me? Refs and states live inside the component. Would they not get cleared so it would not be persisting? So ref persist within renders. So ref should be fine. When the component is unmounted, it'll still exist. It persists between renders. That's the good thing about ref. Okay, so ref is that, search input is that. Now if we click search, and then I click on this, and then I go back. So ref is empty, search input is false. Wow, there's so many re-renders happening here. What the hell? And it's still continuing to re-render. What the hell? Something really weird is happening. Look how many times Anonymous is re-rendering. Search input is false. Okay, you know what? Let's fix this problem later. Because this can be easily fixed with local storage as well if we need to. We'll come back to this later. I don't know why this is re-rendering so many times. One thing that I do want to fix is that I don't want to fetch like, I don't know, 100 properties that this is fetched here, but I want to fetch only like 10 or 20, and then the rest of it I want to either add like a pagination button or I want to add infinite scrolling to it. So let's see what Tanstack query provides us. But before that, I'm also going to commit this code. Git add git commit adding Tanstack query. Tanstack query. What files did I add, by the way? Push. The API supports pagination. Oh, nice. Perfect. Alrighty. Let's do a quick time check. Please read the important defaults first. Yeah, that's the one I was about to read. Let's read this. Out of the box, Tanstack query is configured with aggressive but same defaults. Sometimes these defaults can catch new users off guard or make learning debugging difficult if they're unknown by the user. Keep them in mind as you continue to learn and use Tanstack query. Query instances via use query infinite by default consider cached data as stale. To change this behavior, you can configure your queries both globally and per query using the stale time option. Specifying a longer stale time means queries will not refresh their data as often. Still, queries are refreshed automatically in the background when used instances of the query mount. The window is refocused, the network is connected, the query is optionally configured with the refetch interval. To change this functionality, you can use options like refetch on mount, refetch on window focus, refetch on connect, and refetch interval. Query results that have no more active instances of use query, use infinite query, or query observers are labeled as inactive and remain in the cache in case they are used again at a later time. So this is interesting that it says that these queries will be refreshed automatically when window is refocused. Between back and forth between this app, it will get refetched. We need to add stale time to infinity since we don't need to refetch the properties once we fetch them once, since we want to cache them. Exactly. Because I wonder that when... Oh, did I quit this? Because I wonder when the app actually goes back, it starts refetching it, but then it shouldn't refetch it again. It should only fetch it one more time. npm render. Okay, fill and search. Sometimes it doesn't even fetch it. Network. Okay. It's reloading again and again. What's causing this? Not client render. Forward ref. Okay. Okay, if I click this, options, what is the state? Okay, and then if I go back, it did match in the cache. All right, so that does not reload. And then if I click this again, so that was new page, but then if I go back, it matched. Then if I click the same page again, maybe that wasn't the same page. If I click the same page again, it should be the same page. It did not match. Don't make stale time infinity. Hey, where are you from? I am from Seattle. Okay, let's continue reading this page. Important defaults. To change this functionality, you can use options like refetch on mount, refetch on window focus, refresh and connect, and refresh interval. So we don't need mount, window focus, on reconnect maybe, but refresh interval we need. Query results that have no more active instances of use query, use inference query, or query observers are labeled as inactive. By default, inactive queries are garbage collected after 5 minutes. That's actually fine for us. To change this, you can alter the default GC time for queries to something other than this. Fail are silently retried 3 times with exponential back-off delay. To change this, you can do this. Query results by default are structurally shared to detect if data has changed, and if not, the data reference remains unchanged to better help with value stabilization with regards to reuse memo and use callback. If this concept sounds foreign, don't worry about it. 99% of the time, you will not need to disable this and makes your app more performant at zero cost to you. Structural sharing only works with JSON compatible values. Any other value types will be considered as changed. If you are seeing performance issues because of a large response, for example, you can disable this feature with the config.structural sharing flag. If you're dealing with non-JSON compatible values in the query responses, then still want to detect if data has changed or not, you can provide your own custom function as config.structural sharing. React query as a state manager. Practical React query. Let's read these. React query doesn't fetch any data for you. It's a data state. This article has everything you need to know about React query, your single source of truth, state manager for your async state. You'll need to learn React to do its magic, and why stale time might be all you need. Where did it go? State manager. Am I right? State manager. Where's the sticky doodle? Oh, Dominic. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Okay, I'm going to share this page with us in reading. React query is loved by many for simplifying data fetching. So my React query is in fact not a data fetching library. Okay, folks, I think this is a good point to stop. We're going to stop right here. Your homework, if you your mission, should you choose to accept, is to go read that article, this article that I'm showing right here, but I've pinned it in the chat. I have shared it in the chat as well. So read that, come back on Monday, because tomorrow is Valentine's and I want you to enjoy this day with your loved one. So tomorrow is a break. I will come back on Monday. We're gonna start streaming 5 to 6 hours a day. I will start streaming 5 to 6 hours a day when I start getting paid for it. So if you want me to stream 5 to 6 hours a day on GitHub, what I want you to do is read this article, come back on Monday, and we're going to share our thoughts. So this is a homework for me. This is a mission for you. This article, I just shared that link in the chat, and we're going to discuss this on Monday. And we're going to pick it up from here. So what we're going to do on Monday is, today we already added state management, or like we already added React query to this. So if I fill in search, I will be able to see this data. But you'll see that it actually loads like 20 different properties. We don't want to see 100 properties. We only want to see a few properties. Somehow it is like not doing that. So we only see like we want to pass Monday. So and then we're gonna also add the recommendation list as well because we are not showing the recommendation list yet. So on Monday we're gonna add pagination and then we're gonna add recommended list. Which if you click here, it actually shows the number of properties we show. We'll be able to show the recommended list at the bottom. We're gonna do that on Monday. Tomorrow is a day off. Go enjoy Valentine's Day. That might be today for you. Go enjoy Valentine's Day with your loved one. And I'm tired because life is short. You don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. Kal ho na ho. To ji le aaj ki zindagi. And with that beautiful note, I want you all to have a very happy Valentine's Day. Wish you the best. Have a great weekend. I will see you on Monday to do more Tanstack query that day. Bye, folks.